Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So, Leigh Wood knocks out Josh Warrington in the 7th round of their contest, not with one hook, but with 6 of them. Because the 7th round was a very, very eventful round, not just because of the knockout. The fight finished with Warrington coming forward. He was winning the fight. He moved in. If you're going to be cavalier and, kind of try and spill yourself all over the opponent, you run the risk of leaving yourself open. Leigh Wood, we all know he can hit very, very hard. Anyone who's ever sparred him says how surprised they are that he can hit that hard. In terms of his record, he's now got 28 wins with 17 KOs. It doesn't indicate that he's a one-punch banger, but he is. He really, really is. And he landed Warrington walked in. Wood landed a huge, it's a clipping right hook. He then followed it up with 3 left hooks interspersed with 2 right hooks, and Warrington was flat on his back. This was right at the end of the 7th round. Warrington got up, staggered back to his corner. He was facing his corner. I believe the bell went as he was standing there, and then as he turned around, the referee, rightly or wrongly, ended the fight. Now, prior to that, Warrington had, this is still in the 7th round, Warrington had a point taken off him for punching behind the neck, and he was warned. The commentary team said, he hasn't been warned, but he was warned in the 2nd or 3rd round for doing the same thing. Although, you could argue, okay, well, a second warning might have been more apropos, but he got a point taken off, and he just tore after Wood. He was winning this fight, Warrington. Wood had a cut over his right eye, sort of a diagonal cut just above the eye. A lot of blood flying around from it, but it actually didn't look that deep. Afterwards, when it had been wiped down, it looked like more of a slice than like a jagged cut or anything like that. That came from a punch, not from a headbutt, because everyone has said, including myself, they don't particularly like Warrington's use of the head in the past. This was from a punch, so can't argue with the cut. And there's no doubt about it, Leigh Wood was under the cosh. Now, it began very differently for Leigh, because in the 1st round, and I guess a lot of people had said, Warrington is going to come out and put it on you, just like he did against Kiko Martinez, Carl Frampton, shook Carl Frampton very early on in their fight. And it was almost as if Wood was saying, no, you're not doing that to me, because he came out with a lot of purpose. And I thought he edged the 1st round, won it pretty convincingly. 2nd round, I thought he totally dominated Wood. But then in the 3rd round, there was a little cameo, sort of minute in, I think, where Warrington got Wood on the ropes and unloaded, and suddenly he looked like the old Josh Warrington. And he definitely won that 3rd round big. Now, I then gave him, with varying degrees of confidence, I gave him rounds 4, 5 and 6. I thought he was 4-2 up at the time of the stoppage. And he really was gradually, it looked like he was gradually grinding down Wood. He was having more success. He was hitting well to the body. I'm sure he hurt Wood with a couple of right hands to the body in rounds 5 or 6, I think it was. He was landing, Wood was too bolt upright, too straight up, which has been a fault of his in the past. Warrington, shorter man, looked like the smaller man, because Wood is so big for the weight. I mean, this was his last fight at featherweight. He said that before this fight. And he looked to me like he had struggled at the weight, because he did look a bit sluggish, and he did seem to be kind of low on fuel, even as early as the 4th round. He seemed to be, his jab didn't have that much authority. It normally does. He wasn't able to keep Warrington off him. Warrington was boring in, make himself small, coming over the top with punches from both hands, as well as doing some good body work. And Wood wasn't able to really keep Warrington in his place. And Warrington didn't appear hurt at any point until he was actually knocked out. Now, some people are saying, Sonny Edwards, who I like as a commentator, he was saying that he felt the fight was prematurely stopped. He felt that the bell had gone, that Wood was Warrington was facing the corner. Maybe the referee could have given the corner a minute to see how Warrington was. But there's no doubt Warrington, I mean, he got hit with 6 left hooks from Leigh Wood, and Leigh Wood hits hard. And for him to land on his back, for him to get up was enough, but he definitely staggered back to the corner. Okay, could you have given him the minute? Maybe checked him out during the minutes interval? Maybe. But there's no doubt he was badly hurt. And in fact, afterwards, just I don't know how many seconds afterwards, maybe 20 seconds after the fight had been stopped, he still looked wobbly. And one of his corner men was helping him. Josh, you can argue that it was down to fatigue, but he was so disappointed. He sort of sagged on the top rope, looking down, looking out of the ring, and yeah, I mean he'd given everything, and he'd fought very well. In fact, he'd fought intelligently because his defensively he wasn't doing too badly. Now, if you're a come-forward fighter with that type of marauding style, you can refine it to a certain degree, which it looks to me like Warrington has done. But there's still going to be occasions when the opponent is probably going to hit you cleanly, but just because of the manner of the style. And you don't really want to be hit by someone like, a very big featherweight and a hard hitter like Leigh Wood. And like I say, I mean, it took 6 hooks from Leigh Wood to put Warrington on his back. Had it been, I don't know, had he been clocked with just 1 or 2 hooks, maybe he could have taken a knee. I mean, this is all ifs and ands. If ifs and ands were pots and pans, as my old nan used to say. But yeah, it was just the planets aligned to have a negative effect on Warrington. But most importantly of all, Leigh Wood's fists, the right and the left, had a very negative effect on Josh Warrington. And I'm not going to take anything away from Wood. He did come from behind to win this fight. You can say the same about the Warrington fight. I thought he was winning the Kanzu fight pretty easily. I can't say that. He boxed a very disciplined fight in the rematch with Lara. He was winning the first Lara fight, I thought. It was close-ish, but he was doing well in it anyway. And then he got nailed with a left hook. He stands too upright for my liking, always has done. He says now he wants to move up to super feather. He was talking to Eddie Hearn in the ring afterwards, saying, come on, let's do he's a big Nottingham Forest fan, he's from Nottingham. He said, let's do a fight at the City Ground. Will it sell? I would imagine so. He's got a big, very big following in Nottingham. Warrington was really frustrated about the defeat, said that he wants the rematch. I don't know. They're talking about Cordina and Wood. Maybe Wood going up to super feather and fighting Cordina, perhaps at the City Ground. Failing that, does Warrington want to follow Leigh Wood up to super feather? He looks a bit small for super feather for me. I think at super feather, it goes without saying, Wood will have replenished a lot of his energy. Won't be quite as vulnerable maybe when hit on the chin, because he was being shaken on a few occasions by Warrington. And this is a guy who, I know he got floored early by Conlon and obviously knocked out by Lara in the first fight. But he looked more vulnerable with what I suppose you might call more innocuous punches than he did in either of those 2 fights. And yeah, it's definitely right for him to have a move up now. Go to super feather and see if you can become a 2-weight world champ. And a Cordina fight, that would be great. I would make Cordina the favourite in that fight, definitely, but you just never know with this guy. I mean, Leigh Wood is rapidly becoming a sort of, a smaller white version of Matthew Saad Muhammad. I mean, there's so many, come from behind victories and, a bit of a Cinderella man. And yeah, it was a good event, good fight with a very instant, out of the blue ending. I enjoyed it a lot. What did you think of it? Obviously, comments below, and tell me what you think is next for Leigh Wood, and who you think he should fight next. And what about Josh Warrington? Is he going to walk away into the sunset? I don't think he'll want to go out like that. So let me know what you think about Warrington. Let me know what you think about his performance, because I thought he actually fought really well in this fight up to the point of getting knocked out. But yeah, that's it for now. So not a bad Saturday night's entertainment in the boxing world. Comments below, as I say, and I'll answer them. I'll have a read of them. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you could do that, that would be a big help. leave some comments below and hit the like button. Don't forget, hit that like button. That helps us a lot. And spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. I always appreciate your time. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.